the show that we have that we're talking about tonight is The Bold Type,
yes.
Right? That's on Freeform, right?
Yep.
So, it's about 3 ladies. We're gonna get the cast member, but set up the situation of how they meet. You know what I'm saying? Set up the situation.
So they are 3 friends who all meet at it's a fictional, compared to Vogue magazine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fictional magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ladies, well actually 2 of them, start off as what do you call those people? Interns,
mm-hmm.
right? But they do so well, like the one who came in the door as an intern, it was temporary, but they liked her and she saw that there was a need for another intern in another department, so she spoke to the person in that department, and then, you know, she stayed on. And eventually, you know, when you watch the show, you see them grow in their mm-hmm. careers. So, but 2 walked in actually as interns, mm-hmm. and, you know, last season they were hired. They were mm-hmm. full-fledged employees. Now, the one girl, Kat, the black character mm-hmm. for Kat, pull up the cast. She started off the show. She was new at the time. She was the new director of digital marketing.
Okay.
Right. So, I love that about what I love about this show is that
it's multicultural.
Yeah, it's multicultural, and all 3 of the girls, they get FaceTime, they get dialogue, they get storylines. Like the character Kat Addison, mm-hmm. she's the black actress. She plays Kat Addison, played by Asha D, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you said, isn't she the star on the show because she has a main
she's
role?
like it's an ensemble.
Yeah.
Those 3 is an ensemble, and then they have an extended ensemble cast.
Yeah.
But they are the 3 that the main story wraps around. But right. hers is the focus.
Yes.
Of the story.
And that's what I love about
it. And she's an Australian. She's Australian black, right? Coming in doing the story.
Yeah, but what I love about her character is normally, you know, when we see black people on the different shows, on the multicultural show, they're kind of like, as the different comedians say, the best friend, mm-hmm. right? And they get a few lines. But she's an intricate character on the show.
She's the lead.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, and I love how each of the girls have a story, a strong storyline, each of them. Mm-hmm. And so the cast, Katie Stevens, she plays Jane Sloan. Mm-hmm. Aisha D plays Kat Addison. Megan Fa plays Sutton Brady, mm-hmm. right? And then you also have Melora Hardin on the show. She plays Jacqueline Carlisle. Matt Ward plays Alex Crawford. And Luca James Lee plays Ben. And those are all the
main. And then they're supporting cast.
Oh,
right?
Samuel Page, he plays Richard Hunter.
Okay. Yeah. So what's interesting about this piece is it's not just the standard fare in film and in TV, right? You're going to have to see that the main lead, who again is Australian black in the lead, she's going to be, this is the way that they're writing for TV now. She is LGBTQ in the story, right?
Right.
So she is a person who doesn't know if she's necessarily heterosexual or homosexual, but in the beginning she's hetero, then all of a sudden she has an experience as homosexual, and has a lesbian lover as a lesbian, and so she's going through and pushing through, as that person, right? So first season is one thing, and so it's had 4 seasons, right?
And then the last season, she has a boyfriend now.
Right. So each season
Yeah.
is better than the last, and right now
The writing is great
because of the COVID-19 virus.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's a 5th season is up in the air right now, right? So you have to be able to put your mind in the thing that you're going to see this in this, right? It's like when you watch commercials today. Like you can't go through a commercial without seeing. It's like it's a push for some reason for American blacks to be seen in the light of being bisexual, homosexual, LGBTQ, right? You'll watch a commercial, like they got this commercial about this drug that's supposed to keep you from having the antibodies for AIDS, and it registers so you can still have, it's basically a drug so you can have sex, unprotected sex, right? Now you go through all the things, they show you all the people, they show the heavier set woman, the black man washing the dog, and they show the guy, he's a white guy, but he's holding a boat. He's showing how strong he is. But they've got to show you the black man and the black man kissing in the commercial. It's like, why didn't you show any other people kissing? Why has it got to be a constant push on this? It's like, what's really going on, and what is the agenda on this, right? Now we know that buck busting happened on the plantation, right? We know that not only were women raped by the slave master, but so were black men on the plantation. We know that, right? But why is this always a constant push on this, right? Why is Black Lives Matter about fighting it appears the heterosexual male when the heterosexual male gets a lot of things done? Right? And never downplay the contributions or the side by side actions of the American black female. Okay. Right? Never downplayed that whatsoever, ever, right? Because everybody knew that that's the way it was. When you research the civil rights movement, you see who was the backbone and the strength of it, while the men were going out there and fight, and many times they would stand side by side marching too. Right. But they needed people to be back to formulate plans and to call in and do stuff. The organization is just as important as the mobilization. So these things are set on false premise that all of a sudden the men weren't like that. And Rustin, I can't think of his initials right now, but he was the architect of the March on Washington. He was it wasn't LGBTQ then. He was a gay man, but he was the architect. So everyone participated in it, and all this is false premise, right? So going back there and putting all that in to come back to the story. Now you have to understand that the bold type is pushing an agenda. Bayard Rustin, right? The bold type is pushing a agenda, right? And once you understand that they are pushing an agenda, then you can look back and say, oh, okay, that's just them pushing an agenda, right? That don't mean that my nephew or my niece or my cousin or my did has to go that way. But if they are LGBTQ, fine. It's cool, right? Live and let live, right? Live and let live. That's what they're doing, right? Live and let live. That's what I say. But pushing the agenda to people and pushing the laws, like the civil rights laws that were supposed to be set aside to protect black people as a protective class, have now been used to protect minorities. We were not a minority. We were a protected class of American blacks, right? Protected class. We were not a minority, but somehow we got put in with the minority. The next leadership that came up after Martin Luther King was assassinated put us in with the minority. So the minorities are anyone who came in, but they did not suffer to need the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment.
Okay, so on the bold type, right? So bold type is a combination of, it's a great show, a combination of Sex and the City meets Devil Meets Prada. All three lead characters are all strong women. And you talked about the one that's LGBTQ, and then you have the other two who are heterosexual. But then Kat, it's hard to clump her as LGBTQ.
Oh, she's bi.
Because, but then her character, she said she's more of I love everybody, right?
Yeah.
So because she goes through her phases where she'll date all men.
So we went through all that to tell you that this show
is well
pushes.
written.
It is well written.
They talk about cancer.
Right. They talk about everything, but it is an agenda on the show. So if you can stomach seeing the agenda put out in front, because to me it's like live and let live. So I can watch the show and enjoy it, but I say, oh man, here we go with the agenda to try to make everyone be the same when everyone's not going to be the same.
But the good thing about it is that if you're someone that actually watches the show every season, right? You see, it's multiple storylines. They hit on racism. Like Kat, she dealt with racism. She dealt with a Karen, a white woman who told her she was clearly in the wrong neighborhood, right? They deal with sexism, cancer, right? They have
different topics.
Just
that have
topics
to do,
on
that
everything.
would be within a women's magazine.
And it's well
the inner
written.
workings, the politics within inside,
heterosexual relationships. But the show, the fashion is great. The music is great.
Tanya Congress said they're trying to normalize it through desensitizing first. Exactly, and that's what I said. So,
but then you see that on everything.
Right. That's on everything. Now, all I say is I'm not afraid to talk my heterosexual. Right. Respect my heterosexual, and then I respect your LGBTQ, but respect my right to be.
We didn't get a chance to hit on Billy Porter. It's so many others.
So many things.
Next week.
Oh, we can talk about. But we got. Well, let me see how much time we got. Like Billy Porter, we got 1 minute. Billy Porter comes out in the middle of this fighting for rights and comes out and talks about the black community. Black community never bashed and killed up transgender people, or they might have talked about them, or they might have ribbed them, but they didn't get up there and kill them like the way Caucasians do.
Right.